For me, I just wanted to show that side of what sport was. As soon as you have the capability, you outsource the things that someone else can do better than you. My thing's probably like the vision and where we're going and what we're doing and how can we innovate. There's always pinch yourself moments and you think, fuck, how lucky. I'd be silly if I didn't start looking at what was next because I didn't know if I was going to actually be there for the last 4 years. You have to start and do the work in the early periods to then get to where you are.
Rightio, ladies and gentlemen, BackChat from Adelaide. That's right, gather around. Proudly presented by Paywise this season. Very, very lucky to have this man in studio. He needs no introduction. I don't usually give introductions either. Dylan Buckley from Dylan Friends, from Producy, from Clubby, from Footy and Friends, from AFL fucking things on the internet. Like he speaks for a living. He joins us here at Gather Round. Hello, Dill.
Boys, thanks so much for having me. It's been long overdue, so it's finally good to get in Adelaide. We met sort of in a mutual territory as well.
So,
So
that was by your request.
No, it wasn't.
You wouldn't come all the way over.
Big shout out to Paywise as well. Big Hammer. Hammer's at mate. Played golf with him in Perth, and now I'm on a fucking email list of Paywise. Like I get 17 emails from Paywise a day, but I tell you what, they're a fantastic business.
Yes.
Do you need a novated lease?
No, it's very
They're in
actually,
Melbourne.
I understand the business. It's great. Like they novated leases and all that stuff. Like when I do that, I will be going with them.
Okay,
So
so you're a
go
big
on your
businessman
Paywise.
now, so Paywise. Look at this man. Like he knows how sponsors work. I love
I love
it.
it. Hammer's gone back to the office and copied and pasted your email and subscribed into the
he's
list.
And mate, he was very professional as well. So we love what he's doing at Hammer. He's a great man, Hammer. Fucking love him.
Great man.
So
Friend of our family.
This is going to be a little bit different, bit more round table. Again, we hear enough from you sometimes, Dylan. I'm interested to hear about you.
I hate myself.
but we're going to, I think, go a bit more back and forth. However, we start every interview the same. Every guest that sat in your chair, we ask the same question.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to TABtouch this season, we want to know your greatest sporting achievement. Now, we know that you have been a superstar across 2 AFL sides, right, and Carlton and GWS, and left a very big mark on those football clubs, right? We know you can play footy, right? Kicking bags, taking hangers, all that sort of stuff. We've seen you on the footy field. But I'm just telling you, as an AFL,
literally none of those things.
As an AFL player, we don't want to know your greatest footy achievement.
Oh,
You're not allowed to use your sport of choice.
Damn.
So your greatest sporting achievement, thanks to TABtouch.
can I give you both?
Dan, can you just listen to Dan's? Because
Sorry.
Dan's never said this on the podcast.
No, I'll give
before.
you a fresh one.
Okay.
Rolled out in a grand final, under 12s cricket, 5 for 16, bowling leg spinners at 12-year-olds. I was 12 too.
That's in like. I don't understand cricket at all. But 5 wickets.
It's
You
basically-
took 5 wickets for 16. They had 16 runs.
It's like Jesse Hogan, 8 kicks, 8 goals areas.
yeah, it's pretty good.
I was state flags champion, so nippers.
Oh yeah,
under
that's a good one.
8s, under 9s, like back to back.
Okay.
At Lawn, just like one of the great probably moments at nippers Australia wide has seen.
Nippers is a great sport.
Correct.
I'm really bullish. I don't live anywhere near a beach, but I want to get my kids into nippers. I think it's the best thing ever. To be confident in the ocean is a skill.
It's the most fun that our kids have. So there you go. Greatest sporting
Okay,
achievement.
great sporting achievement.
Dylan Buckley, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. I want to give you one AFL one. Just quickly.
Do
I've
you
got,
hear the
I've got
rules?
2 because it's my only highlight. And I don't know if I'm sure you were playing this week in terms of you weren't getting rested because you were playing against Carlton at all, but we were at Marvel. Did you play in the game where we came back from like 34 points at 3/4 time?
Can't remember what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I played.
And I
I played.
I kicked a really good goal. And I know it wasn't to do with footy, but I just wanted to let you know that.
Yeah, great.
He's John. Like,
And
he's,
Luke Shuey got sucked into the contest. He
like
left me out the back.
this is a like game's over sort of operation. Like
You guys put the handbrake on.
mate, there's 8 goals up sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like 3/4 time. Like boys, where are we going tonight? We're going to Star Bar. Who's got the bar
Eve.
cards?
Yeah.
Right. And Dill Buckley, the boys have started coming up, and Dill Buckley's kicked some snap from 70.
It's just like it was momentum. You know those games where just like, and I actually don't know the stats of how many games I won in my 49 game career, but it wouldn't have been over. It wouldn't have been double digits.
The boys got around you for this.
It was a good one.
I remember
But
that.
Back to the greatest sporting achievement. It's funny because my life sort of come full circle, and when I was a kid, skating was my life. Like I loved the skate park. I grew up in North Fitzroy, so Fitzroy Bowl, if anyone's from Victoria, and it's it's like a very iconic sort of place. And I used to go there before school, loved skating. And I entered a skate comp I would have been like 13, and it was like an open like skate comp. And I didn't win at all. but I got, I didn't even like get a medal, but I got like a special mention.
Yes.
And I got like it was almost like a coach's vote for the skate comp because I was so young and, I could do a few cool tricks and stuff. And I'm actually getting back into it now. No, it was more like bowl skating.
Right.
Yeah. So,
You're getting back into it now.
yeah. So it's not like competitively, just for leisure. But my son, he's 2 and he just loves a scooter. So like, it's just the best feeling in the world. You guys have kids, like when you see your kids enjoying something that you've done in a similar place. And every weekend we go down the skate park and I just skate with him. He's on his scooter, which I'm trying to phase that out. I'm like, come on, mate, you don't want to be on a fucking scooter for the rest of your life. Like, get on the skateboard. But he is 2. So I'll let him off for like another 6 months at least. But yeah, just loved it. So coaches, well, I would say coaches award it as junior skate.
I like it.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever had skating. We might have had one.
Yeah.
We've definitely had a pigeon trainer before, but we've never had skating.
Yeah, coaches vote at skate
Sean
comp.
McManus, WA state pigeon training champion.
Yeah, pigeon racing.
Homing pigeons. They'd race them around the state, like as in like leave from Perth.
I wouldn't be saying that publicly. That's not like something to be super proud of, I don't think.
Mate, straight away, first thing he said, he was like, yeah, got it, pigeon racing.
Did you?
I got one. Sorry, but I
3?
can't move on. No, this isn't me. One of my mates from work.
Yes.
He is the funniest, weirdest dude. Like, he's not funny in terms of like trying to be funny. He's just like the quirkiest character. And I didn't know this till like last year, but he played frisbee for Australia.
Wow.
I've always wanted to play that sport. Have you seen them do that?
Yeah.
The ultimate frisbee, like gridiron.
Ultimate frisbee.
Yeah, but it's like gridiron, but with a frisbee, and it's
But he was
amazing.
like, he was in school like 16 and like flew to like Europe and travelled around in a Australian frisbee team.
Unreal. Well,
it's no fistball.
It's no fistball. I've played for Australia in fistball. Played in New Zealand last year.
What's fistball?
It's like volleyball outside, but you can only use your fist and it bounces.
Good for backman.
Yeah. Real backman sport.
Awesome.
Did you speak about your love of skateboarding with our good friend Tom Barris over on the Pass the Orcs podcast? Because he is a big skater.
Is he?
Loves skating.
Really?
Used to go around to his house in Perth and he'd be doing kickflips while having beers.
Well, we did definitely Pass the Orcs by BackChat Studios and what the boys are doing at Pass the Orcs with Matt and Tom. I'm a big fan of that show and was honoured to be on it. And I reckon it's you're onto something there because it's a ripper. But I did speak about it because when we're talking about it, like the music that I've loved the most as a kid was Lupe Fiasco, and the song Kick Push was probably like my opener of Pass the Orcs. Didn't want to spoil things too much, but
Season 2 coming soon.
Season 2 coming soon. And it was just sick. And it was funny because when you're in those shows and you listen, like it is the best show to ever be a guest on because you're literally sitting down, drinking beers with 2 guys and forcing them to listen to all your favourite songs. And they can't add one in. They're just like, they can't even go, oh, I've got one. It's like, no, this is my play. Like, it is the most selfish, great thing in the world.
It's awesome, isn't it? Like when we did it, we were doing pilots or like just, like, no, we're just drinking piss and playing music basically.
Yeah.
And I came out of it, I did like a pilot that hasn't been released and won't be released. But I sat there for like 2 hours just playing my music.
And who was your top? What was your songs? Give us like 3 of them.
I'm pretty heavy rock, like, pretty classic, like Foo Fighters, Pearl Jam, Kings of Leon sort of operator.
Yeah.
But I started getting a bit like, so my first ever concert was like Linkin Park and like Limp Bizkit and that sort of operator.
Yes.
Offspring.
Yeah.
So it was a bit heavy.
I reckon at one point when we were doing the pilots, I think it was yours, we ended up just listening to the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 soundtrack for about 2 hours.
Amazing. Yeah. Oh, best playlist ever. It's funny you say that because with the Linkin Park stuff because I got family from WA and they're a bit older than me. And when I was a kid, I have these memories of like going over and visiting and one of my cousins, Steed Fitzpatrick, shout out.
Shout out for one of the best names I've heard in a long time.
Steed.
Yeah, S-T-E-E-D?
E-I-D. S-T-E-I-D, Fitzpatrick.
Holy moly.
So funnily, I didn't think we were going to go here near today, but
It's fine.
funnily, my other cousin, Reese Fitzpatrick, the older one, he was actually a really handy footballer. He played with like Daniel Kerr for Swan Districts and stuff. Not that that's
Shout
any
out
relevance
Reece.
today. Shout out to him. And then while we're
Shout
here,
out Daniel Kerr.
got to give Kiana the other sister one because otherwise I can't leave them all out. So
The
shout out to the
Fitzpatrick's
Fitzpatrick.
are sitting at home just absolutely.
We love the
The thing is, like,
Fitzpatricks.
they don't like footy at all. In saying that, my auntie, she loves the West Coast Eagles. She actually loves the West Coast Eagles.
Should we go through your
Her name's
full
Rhonda
fam-
Fitzpatrick.
family tree?
Rhonda.
Should we family tree this
She loves the Eagles. Loves the Eagles.
in
so
Perth? No,
she
don't-
would.
Well, she might like me, but I'm a Giants fan. Dan's Eagles. Yeah.
Same.
Are you a Giants fan?
I'm a Giants fan. I love
Right.
Giants. Yeah.
How did you pick between Carlton and Giants?
Yeah,
I
'cause that
assume
might
it has to be one of those two.
be a good little like the fanning at going from pre-player,
Yeah.
during player, and you play for two clubs and you come out a Giants fan.
I do, like, honestly, wholeheartedly, I am 50-50. And it's like, I think long term for me, Carlton's always going to have that special part of me. And it's like, it's nothing to do with like the not loving the club. It's more so like my whole, I suppose, identity, like growing up was always Carlton. Dad played there. I went there. Didn't probably work out the way I was hoping. I still probably, as a kid, thought I'd be still playing this time. I thought maybe I'd be playing a gather round, but
There's still a
pretty
chance, mate.
No, I don't want there to be
West
a chance.
Coast and Carlton are pretty shit at the moment. You might actually get a game at
Well,
this stage.
we'll get to that. Don't worry. But I think then to like be able to get the other opportunity to go to another club and create like your own legacy, albeit 2 games, was, I don't know, it's just really cool to be a part of 2 clubs. And I know you're a 1 club player, and I think that's how everyone wants to start their career. But when you do get the opportunity to go to 2 clubs, it's a really cool thing because it's so similar but so different. And you sort of, I remember walking her in the first day when I was at the Giants, and you're sort of like scoping out the place and you're like, oh, fuck, there's that equivalent of that person of this club, but they do it like this. And like, oh, that's where you get your ankles taped. That's where you go and get your rub downs. That's where the PDM is. And it's just, I don't know, I just was miffed by it. And I think by the time I got to Sydney as well, I was a lot more mature and understood how it actually worked and, understood the lifestyle and also just the, not a hierarchy, but just the business of AFL a bit better. I wasn't just going in blind. So just loved my time up there so much, getting out of Melbourne too. And yeah, I'm genuinely forever in debt to that footy club for giving me a chance, and especially like Leon Cameron, Adrian Caruso, those guys, like they're just weapons.
The loyalty stuff that you just spoke about, well, sorry, 1 club player, you called me. I look at that and some people think, oh, you're really loyal. Like, wasn't particularly like I was batting off 17 other clubs.
Oh, yeah, I didn't mean that either.
No,
like,
no.
yeah. I wasn't saying that anyone else wanted you. I was just saying that you stayed there.
But I did wonder, like, how you looked at the loyalty side because, yeah, like your old man plays for Carlton, you grew up a Carlton fan, you grew up around players, you end up a Carlton. Like, do you the loyalty element? Like,
Yeah, no, mate, there's and again, when I say forever indebted to Giants, I'm forever indebted to Carlton as well. Like, genuinely love that place. And like, I still have an amazing relationship with the club to this day. I'm actually going to one of their lunches up here, and
as a guest or as a talent?
no, as a guest, yeah. Just it's one of their business lunches. So I'm just going to try steal all their sponsors.
How about Paywise?
Yeah,
How
yeah,
about Paywise?
yeah. No. Like the crew at Carlton are amazing, and through footy clubs, and I'm sure you would attest to this as well. There's an awesome. I need Hammer here for this quote because it's a Harry Potter quote that I love, and Dumbledore says in the last episode, I butcher fucking quotes every time, but it's something like,
go on, butcher it.
it's something like Hogwarts will always help those in need. And then he goes, I'm going to reframe that by saying Hogwarts will always hope those. Yeah, I fucked it.
Man,
I need Hammer.
man, ripping
Hey,
quote.
wait,
That's,
can we call
that's a
him?
ripping
Yeah,
quote.
Can we call him?
And kids, if you're listening along, that is something to live by.
Hogwarts will
And I
always-
was like, you know what? I like that. Can you call Hammer?
Yeah,
Like,
I'll text him.
I really want to get that quote.
Can you just give me a bit more context?
Basically, the quote is like, Hogwarts will help those who deserve it.
Right.
And I think that when you're a part of a footy club and you're mutually good both ways and want to help each other, like it really works in your benefit. And more of the stuff for Carlton and Giants, the way they've actually helped me set me up off field versus on field has been even bigger.
Hey, Hammer, you're just live on a potty with Dylan Buckley.
I need you, Hammer.
This is phone a friend, right?
Yeah.
Eddie Maguire's in after this, by the way. So,
Please, I do need to phone a friend.
So he's called Hamish. I'm putting you on speaker.
Yeah.
So, mate, you're live on the
Hammer,
potty.
how good's Paywise?
He says how good is Paywise, powered by Paywise. Now,
I'm sure that's what Dill said.
Now, Dill needs some help with a Harry Potter quote. It's in the
I'm certainly come to the right man.
it's in the last episode. Dumbledore is speaking about.
He's at the white train station.
Yeah, King's Cross Station in Harry's death dream. Yeah.
Yeah, and he says, Harry, I've always said Hogwarts will come to those who needs help. Something like that. Then he says, but I'll reframe my earlier statement by saying Hogwarts will X. What's the actual quote?
So the actual quote, I believe, is help will always be given to those at help will always be given at Hogwarts to those that ask for it. But then I think the quote is changed to the end. He goes, help will always be given to those at Hogwarts who deserve it.
That's it.
Wow.
No, that's it, mate. That's it. And now that you say it properly, it probably has nothing to do with what I was talking about. But I really like that quote.
Where'd he go, mate? We love you.
Yeah, so
He's literally just pulled that out of thin air and he's
that was it. That's the exact quote. Feel free to delete that and never see it again. But,
that'll be a social highlight.
So who's Hogwarts? Is Carlton Hogwarts in this, or are you?
I don't know,
Hogwarts?
man. What's with all the fucking questions? Honestly, just can we move on?
I'm happy to move on. Your
good.
journey through Carlton and GWS is sort of well documented, but I was wondering about, I guess, less of a life after footy chat, because my views on this are, no one really has a great idea what the fuck's going on as a player. No one that I played with, and maybe one or two guys had a real strong ambition to do this after football, whatever this is. But I would say 95% of people, and I think rightly so, given that you're in the highest performing level of that industry in the country, you shouldn't really be focusing on running a podcast company or being a doctor or being a lawyer, because you're trying to be a football player. Mm-hmm. So I kind of think it makes sense. In fact, that's why it happens. But I wonder what it was like for you. Towards the back end of your career, GWS, you're doing media at the footy club, you're trying to figure out what you're doing. Are you lost? Do you know what you're doing? Are you one of those guys, one of those two guys I played with that's like, I'm very clear on what life after footy looks like for me?
It's a great question. No, not at all. Definitely not. I did so many things as a player. And to go back to your first point, actually, around putting all your attention in footy, I couldn't agree more. And I harped on a little bit too much around, got to have balance in your life and think about other things. But ultimately, if you want to be the best at what you do, like your Chris Judds or your Dustin Martins, it's do you reckon Dustin Martin, while he's winning 3 flags and 3 norms, he's going and doing work experience? He's just going all in on his footy, right. And that's why he's doing what he's doing. But the reality is not everyone's Dustin Martin, and there's other ways that you can, shape your journey. And for me, I signed a 3-year deal, my first one. Next one was a 2-year deal, and then after that was 4 1-year deals. So it was always just getting shorter and shorter. And I think for me, it was, at the time, it was terrible, but it was a really big eye opener of being all right, well, I'd be silly if I didn't start looking at what was next, because I didn't know if I was going to actually be there for the last 4 years. And it'd always come to that time of the year where you just get the call up again, last bit, fuck, okay, I'm on for again, but next year I need to be doing this. So it was always in the back of my mind. I did, signed up at Victoria University, did a teaching degree, and didn't last at all. I just couldn't do it. And then I was like, you know what, I'll try Latrobe. Couldn't do it there either. So I went to 2 unis, and I kept forgetting I kept forgetting to defer. So I ended up getting stung with the course fees, and then I lost so much. I still hate it to this day, but I just fucked up completely with that. So after that, I was like, you know what, maybe real estate. Every other player goes into real estate. So I went and started doing, I've always been really passionate about learning what other people do and even just asking questions and understanding what people do. So I'd sit down with corporates at the club, go do work experience with them, property development, did it with one of the guys, Kenny Whiteman, who's a ripper in Melbourne, unbelievable. Went out there, really enjoyed it, but I was like, probably not for me. Went and did some commercial leasing with Mick Jamison when he finished footy, did that with him. Did a ton of things. And not that I'm giving advice out, but if anyone ever does ask me for advice, I truly believe this, that you don't find out what you want to do, you find out what you don't want to do. And for me, it was just like a process of elimination, like going, all right, don't want to do that, don't want to do that, don't want to do that. And it slowly just got me towards where I wanted to go, which was then ultimately doing some stuff with Carlton, like as you know, you would have done at West Coast when they come around and give you the mic. And back then, if you weren't playing well, no one wanted to do it. And, I was never really playing that well, and I was still having to just front up every week and do this show, and really enjoyed it, but just never thought it was going to be something that I could possibly do, because I never saw anyone like myself in the media. You had to play 300 games and win premierships and Brownlows to even get a look in, which is completely fine. But, with a new medium now of digital media, you can create your own networks and do your own stuff. And there's a place for both. And, I probably bashed media a little bit as I was coming through, but I do believe there's a place for both. Like, I do want to watch on Fox and Seven, Liam Montagna and David King, and I want to watch Hodgie on Seven give their analysis of the game, because they are the best in the business. But I also want to see the guys that didn't quite make it and have a joke about the fun times that maybe those guys don't get to actually witness, because they were picked every week, and it's pretty easy for them. Not easy, but it was a lot easier for them than a lot of the other battlers out there. So for me, I just wanted to show that side of what sport was, and show that that's where some of the best sort of stories and content comes from, and bring that to the public, I suppose.
It's funny as well, because like some of the best players that go into media are the worst media operators.
Well, they're your words.
They are. Some of them can't speak, and they give them these gigs because of their credentials and stuff like that. And sure, they're probably very smart and understand the game, but like if you can't deliver during the broadcast,
it's a good point. But I think it's not that they're not good; it's the fact that they haven't actually done the reps to get to where they need to go. And I had this podcast with Howie a few years ago, and he said something so good about, like, you want to have the runs on the board, the 10,000 hour rule, like, be a producer, have little goes on the mic, be on shows that don't get any like massive attention, because you can fail quietly. And it's funny now with how it works. Sometimes guys get put in the limelight straight away without having those stuff ups early to learn from. And then you're on Seven or Fox and it's live, and it's like, it's so, like, I don't even know what I would have done if that was the opportunity. So in a way, as much as I wanted that, it's a blessing that you have to start and do the work in the early periods to then get to where you are.
I think people would see what you do in podcasting, but hosting, and you're on TV and your radio, and they would look at and be like, well, he's a natural, like he's just great in front of a microphone. But I agree with you. Like, if I look at my own side of things, mate, I hosted this TV show on West Coast. So my attitude during my career was like, don't say no to anything.
Yeah.
Like, anything that ever came up, whether it be controversial press conference, I'd just be like, yeah, put me in for, I'll do it. Whatever. Or whether it be community-based, or whether it be this-based TV show. We used to film it down in the park. It was like,
I hate it already.
Oh, mate, like, I guarantee there's something.
Is it still online?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's
Lots of episodes. Eagle Vision.
Eagle Vision.
And it was always like, as a fan watching it, you're just like, oh, Will's on again. But then later on you realise, like, oh, they're just the guys who are injured or dropped.
Mate,
Yeah.
I would go, so I'm forever in debt to Marshall, who still works in the TV industry over in Perth. He's with Channel 7. He would come down with me, and he would effectively film and produce me. And we would have to get out a 20-second intro. Like, hey guys, welcome to Eagle Vision. Been a big week at the club this week. Let's go inside Subiaco Oval and have a look.
Yeah.
That was it. It would take me 2 hours to say that sentence on camera. And then I'd have to do all the in-betweens. Oh, that was Ash Hansen speaking about his time as a centre half forward. Let's go speak to Will Schofield. It would take me all day to do 7 ins and outs and an intro. And because I was 21, and it was just because no one else wanted to do it. I was like, yeah, I'll fucking do it. And I look back at that. I'm 37 now. Like, I've been doing media for 16 years and badly, like, for a good portion of that. Dan and I met ABC. I went into the ABC. I said, can I just host a show? Don't pay me. Just give me anything. And they're like, yeah, we got this great show. It's 2 p.m. on Saturdays on our digital network.
Oh, booming.
This is 2017. No one even knew what digital radio was. Yeah. We would have 7 listeners. And Dan and I would build this amazing show. I would have no idea what I was doing. I was paneling at the same time. As ABC, you panel yourself.
Yep.
So I'm like bringing in stings for ads, playing music, building a list. I'm like, mic off, like, Dan, get in here and help me. Yeah, I fucked up so much in media. And so you go forward 16 years and you're like, oh, like, I'm pretty competent in front of a mic now, but it's not because I'm a natural. I have, and I'm assuming if you want to speak a bit more about it, you have like had to work your ass off to be a 5 out of 10 because neither of us are perfect.
No. I appreciate the 5 out of 10. That's higher than a few people would give me. But yeah, no, I couldn't agree more, mate. It's credit to both of you for putting in the hard yards. And you know, there's an element of it when you do finish footy. You think that no matter what, you develop some form of an ego playing AFL that you just deserve things. And, you know, I definitely fell into that trap at some point. And, you know, I got a reality shock when I got delisted and then delisted again and then moved back to Melbourne. And I got to a point where I was like, I've got to drop this ego. Like, you've got to just go and start from the bottom, and that's where you can get the best stuff. And even when I was at the Giants, I volunteered every Tuesday night for nearly 2 years at Triple M. I just go in and answer the phones. And there's a show there with Liam Flanagan and Mark Geyer. That was sort of like the Billy and Brayshaw equivalent of league.
Yeah, my guy was like really great league player.
Yeah, great player. Like ripping bloke, mate. And they just gave me so much sort of confidence. I love telling this story actually because it's really funny how the world works. Because when I was at the Giants, I was doing that. So Lee Merrick, got to give him a shout out. He was the Giants media manager. He put me in touch with Liam Flanagan and then Mark Geyer. So I was going in there and doing radio with them on Tuesday nights. I was never on the radio. I was just answering the phones. And then the producer of that show was a guy named Tom Birmingham, who is Hello Sport.
Yeah.
So
Tom and Eddie.
Yeah, Tom and Eddie. So I got to say, Burmo was just chatting with him all the time, and he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm playing footy, but, you know, I want to start a podcast. He goes, oh, mate, I've got a podcast. And it's called Hello Sport. You know, I'm doing this, me and Eddie. And they'd just been absolute OG. Like, they'd already done like 100 episodes. And he's like, mate, if you want to do it, you got to buy this equipment. Like, he told me what to go and get. And then that's when I started doing Friends. And we just catch up and talk about it through the week. He'd give me heaps of tips. And then after that, we would just catch up. He was like a really good sort of mentor for me. And he introduced me to the Diamantina boys, which are the guys that own the Batuta Advocate. So that Instagram page is actually a very, very big business with Anthony Stockdale and, you know, the boys that run that page. They're amazing. They're absolutely killing it. And then I'd go in and sort of do some episodes with them and just learn all this stuff. So I was just doing this all whilst I was playing footy. And would I have done that when I was back in Melbourne? Or would I have even been allowed to do that with, like, you know, just being able to get in and stuff? Like, probably not, because I would have been so embarrassed. But here I was just like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I need to work it out and just learn how to panel, learn how to edit, learn how to video edit. Ryan Miller and Ellis Eastman from the Giants, when I was playing there, they were like the head of media and the head of like sales. Ryan taught me how to like edit the show myself. So I'd like finish training, go and do that. And then Alice, who's a champion, she's one of the best. She helped me build a deck to then introduce me to sponsors and start selling episodes. So it was just a crazy time. Like, if I look at those 2 years playing footy, like, I didn't play much footy, but fuck, I learnt so much. And it's all about who you surround yourself with, right? Like, if you just find the best people, and that's where playing footy, you get such a head up on a lot of people because you have so many people around you. All they want to do is help you, and all they want to do is just literally be there and just ask questions. So, I love being a sponge.
Do you reckon that changes out of footy in terms of the help and not motivations, but I guess motivations around help and like, you know, you're in a footy club and it's just like so, you know, such a bubble of support basically. Like, I look at the players now and there's just like, there wouldn't be one thing you can do without something, oh, I can help you with that.
Yeah.
Whereas I think real life probably isn't like that. Like, do you agree with that?
No, 100%. And it's probably my biggest pet peeve with players when it's hard to know what you know till you know it, right? And it's like, you say the guys that are on 1 year deals and all this sort of stuff, and you look at how proactive AFLW players are because they have to be at the moment, not being full-time. Like, they're all working other jobs, they're building their careers and their profiles outside of the game, which annoys me because there's so many guys out there that if they want to do something, they can, but how do you tell them that until they realise? So I love people that are proactive, and not just in footy, but just in everything. I love people coming to me with we have a saying at work, it's like no problems, only solutions, and that came from Pitbull. Actually, it's in one of his songs,
Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah, it's a really good quote. I love it, and
that's very good.
Yeah, I love that mindset in my life, and I love people and players and athletes or just businessmen and women that have that a part of it, because there's so many people that want to help out there. But the big thing with help too is you got to think about it as it takes two to tango. Like, you can't just take. You've got to be really proactive and try and help and support other people as well, and not from a selfish point of view, but just from a genuine relationship building point of view, which is something also that I've learned is how can you actually help other people and thank other people and bring them along for the ride as well. Because even today, being lucky enough to come on this podcast with you guys, that's helping me. But then putting it through my platform, how can that help you? And I think people want to surround themselves with people that are mutually beneficial, and you don't do it for those reasons, but that's why it is great.
When did you early days with Dylan Friends, when were you able to start bringing people on to help you? Because in terms of like the editing and stuff like that, because I assume you're doing everything at the start.
Yeah, so I was doing everything at the start, and then I was chatting to a really good friend of mine, Luca Ganano, who was like the head of media at Carlton. So again, I've just used the shit out of everyone, but hopefully it's been somewhat beneficial. And he still is an amazing support for me today. He's actually the head of sport at 3AW now, who I went and worked with when I finished footy. But he got me in touch with someone called Damon Jackman, who Damon is actually working now with the grade cricketer guys.
Nice.
They stole him off me, and not really, but they're doing a great job. And it got to the point where I sort of worked out, like, I was paying X amount of dollars for his services for the year, and what that worked out to be was X. And then I was like, well, if I can find, an extra, say, 20 or 30 grand, I can actually get someone full time. So where that sort of happened was we then were thinking, how can we get this extra money? Because we're not getting it through sponsorship or merchandise sales at the moment. But what I can do with some of these sponsors, I can be like, well, do you need any video production for your work? Because I can do that for you as well. So that's where the sort of birth of Clubby Sports and Producer have been born, in the fact there's two sides of the business now. One is sponsorship of the podcast and working with brands and our events and all those sort of things. And the other side is the team that we've built. Not only are they incredibly skilled podcast extraordinaire editors, but they are like even better at doing video production. So we sort of do both for businesses, people that sponsor us. We also do their production agency stuff for them as well. And it's sort of just snowballed from there. So hired one person and just sort of built.
Can I take you to where you are now? So I don't really understand where you sit in the business, whether you see yourself as a CEO, if you're a operating manager. I don't know what you are. Tell me about that. And give us a bit of an overview of where you are at now. And can you just sort of reflect back, like to editing your own stuff at GWS and you're working for free, to where you are now? Like, where are you now? Like, what is the business? How many people? Hey,
in Adelaide.
No, but like, what is the business? Like, how many people have you got working in there? Like, and is that weird to talk about after you've talked about it?
It's really weird. And I think I want to preface by saying that, like, a lot of these things sound amazing, but what it's like running a business. Like, it's nearly the more bodies you have, the harder it is. So, we've grown and it's been amazing, but there's still a lot of challenges, but we're still so driven and I suppose and hungry for just continued growth and success and innovation, which has been really, really cool. And I would say this off the top, I'd be absolutely nowhere without my business partners. Like, I've got two of the most incredible people by my side. Adam Baldwin, who I started the business with, who we actually went to school together. He's about 7 years older than me, but he used to coach me in footy when I was like in year 10 and he was out of school. And then he went and worked with the AFL Players Association, Herald Sun, did all this stuff, and we just stayed in touch. Through that, when I finished at the Giants, he just became my mentor. We caught up for 2 years on every Wednesday morning, and he just helped me with life. And then it just eventually evolved into going like, let's work together. Started Producer. And he'd have to be hands down like the best operator I've ever worked with. And I'm talking like footy, everything. Like if I've seen someone with their attention to detail like he does, it's amazing. And then through just luck, and he reached out one day, my other business partner, Zach, who's coming to the business now, he's a head of partnerships, and he is just, again, like the best in the business at what he does, like unbelievable person. And I said this last night at the live show, but I feel very selfish and sometimes just I'm here in this podcast today because, you know, they do 99.9% of the work and I'm sort of just here to talk about it, but they couldn't be more supporting. They never want any credit and they deserve a lot more than they get. But internally, you know, they're those players that they're first picked every week. So we refer a lot of our stuff back to footy. You know, we think we're in a premiership window and we've got a good list and, you know, we talk about all those cliches. At the moment, we have 18 staff. So, it's across the whole business. We have like sort of 5 managers across those and then a really cool sort of team everywhere. But, Baldy's our managing director. He then works with all the managers and then works with like the rest of the team. I sit next to Baldy, but I have no one that reports to me. So I literally it's amazing. Like I'm here.
You're just Dill.
And it's just like the whole chart goes that way. And then I'm just here by myself.
Yeah. They're giving you like find the difference between these two pictures.
The way it genuinely works is like they're there and I'm down here, like I'm here because they all just scream and yell at me.
Yeah.
But the way it sort of works in a business relationship, and you know, you guys love to hear how it works with you guys too, but I love my thing's probably like the vision and where we're going and what we're doing and how can we innovate and show up in new spots and create our own tone of voice and, do what we want to do. And I like coming up with a lot of those ideas. They're not all mine, but I like to sort of drive the passion on that. And as soon as Baldy and Zach then go, because if I didn't have them, there's probably a million other ones that I would have started that would have absolutely been shocking. So they say, let's give it a couple of weeks, see the emotion settle down. If then it gets to the point where we're like, let's back it in, Baldy will put down the most comprehensive plan in the world to how it's going to work. And then Zach will go and sell the absolute shit out of it. So it's a sort of great little tripod that we have there. And
brilliant partners.
Yeah, they just back me in and let me go. And there's definitely been some ones where I've absolutely butchered it.
What's the worst you've ever had?
Like the worst thing that I've done.
As a visionary, Dylan Buckley, what have you come into the office and gone, boys, I think we need to, we're doing a naked podcast now. And that's how we're going to go forward and set ourselves. What's one idea? It doesn't have to be your worst.
There's many.
Yeah. Is there something you can think of that's just like, geez, that was bad?
Well, I'll tell you one that's just been a really big learning curve because, and I don't regret what happened with it, but it's a really good learning point, was around our merchandise. And the show was built off merch, and back then when I was leaving footy, like that was what allowed me to then just go into this full time, was like the amazing support from the community, which was just crazy. And everything I did, I just reinvested back into, hiring people and going again. And it was nuts. And then it got to a point where, we were growing, we had sales and all that sort of stuff and sort of put merch a little bit on the back burner. And then a few years ago, probably last year, I tried to revamp it, but I was like, nah, there's so many merch things out there now. Like what I want to do is create a clothing label, which is never a good idea. If you that's the two clothing labels are like the hardest businesses to ever start, like genuinely, because so many people want to do it. It's so hard to have cut through on what you're doing. And it wasn't so much that I stuffed up, but what we did was we went from doing merch, this was on hoodies and tees, to trying to create something that was a little bit more at a better quality and a higher price point. And it wasn't saying Dylan Friends, it would be just cool branded stuff and whatnot. And what I quickly realized, it sold and went really well and it was great. But what I really realized through that was the margins were terrible and people didn't want to wear those logos on. They wanted to wear Dylan Friends. They wanted to be proud of what they were wearing. Whereas I was like, no, I don't want to put my name on something again. This is weird. I don't want to do it. But I just completely fucked up. I thought that they wanted something that was cool versus being a part of something. And then I realized, people actually want to be proud of listening to a show, and it's not something they're going to why the fuck would they wear a Clubby Sports something with not even Clubby Sports on it to an event? They want to.
Yeah, exactly.
If they're doing that, they're going to be wearing something that's actually sick, like not what we're doing. So, yeah, I just got my wires mixed, and it was a really good sort of re-pivot back into like, we're going back down this route of like community, selling to our community, and even with the label, we're like, let's sell this to our community, but then also people who don't know who we are. And there's big. I was like, that's just so dumb, man. Just go to your community. Like, why the fuck did you do that?
It's like wearing a band shirt. It doesn't say the name of the band on it or something.
Exactly right. It's so dumb. Yeah. So, yeah, that was a big mistake, to be honest. Like, it was not just in the way the business was going, more so like it was a big financial risk, and you just got to cop it and you learn from it and you move on.
Imposter syndrome is the wrong word, but given, I've listened to lots of podcasts with you and without knowing you really well, do you ever look at what's happening now, 18 staff, multiple arms to your business, even though on the org chart you sit off to the right-hand side by yourself?
Yeah.
But do you ever like sit there and sort of, imposter syndrome is probably the right word. It's like, what's going on here? Like I'm just Dylan Buckley, footy player that has worked my guts out to build something, but you sort of get to where you are and you're like, oh, like this is pretty incredible what I've built here.
Yeah, it's good. It's a great question. I think the short answer is like there's always pinch yourself moments and you think, fuck, how lucky. It's more of a gratitude thing for me. Like I am genuinely in it being like, this is amazing. In terms of imposter syndrome, I would say no, purely because like not in an arrogant way at all, but like I've done the work. Like I don't feel like it was something that I've just been gifted.
Lucky.
Yeah, I don't feel like I feel like I'm very grateful, and there was obviously very fortunate timings and getting into it early, but like I still had to do it. Like I still had to go out there and get it done. And I think the proudest thing for me is like before I did that, I was definitely someone who said a lot but never delivered. And then it got to the point where the shit hits the fan and you've actually got to put your money where your mouth is and back yourself in and do it. Like, am I surprised? Yes. Am I grateful? 100%. But do I have imposter syndrome? I don't think so, because like I've done the work. I've got the body behind me of, you know what it's like starting a business. Like it's fucking tough. Like there's so many things that go behind the scenes, and there's so many meetings that you have that people don't see about, that it could have gone either way, and you just back it yourself in, you keep going, tough conversations, all those things that I avoided as a footy player, you get hit with, and you know, fuck, now I've got to take care of this now, I've got to step up and get it done. And I'm not saying that I'm a fucking hero or anything like that at all, but reality is, you got to put food on the table, got a family, got a beautiful wife, got a little boy, and things get serious, and it's like you got to get it done. And I've done that at the moment, and got to continue to. So I don't feel that I'm an imposter, but I feel extremely grateful and fortunate that things have turned out the way they have.
Yeah, I also think like when you got staff, and same with us, got staff, and when you become responsible for, essentially putting food on the table for them, like your business is, if it doesn't do well, you can't pay your staff.
Yeah, that's a scariest part
on that as well, for
sure. And even like business, like if you want to go into business stuff, like cash flow has been a really bloody interesting thing to learn about in business. Yeah. Like it's crazy, and especially the way how it works with business and sponsorship, and a lot of like businesses and big businesses or agencies that you work with have like massive payment terms, and you might not get paid for like 90 days or 60 days. So you've really got to forecast, and that's something where I've had to probably upskill a lot, and Adam is amazing, Baldy, with this, and so is Zach, about if you want to run a successful business, ultimately you have to know the numbers, and you have to know what's coming in and what's going out, and you have to forecast for the big times of the year, you have to forecast for the quiet times of the year, like December, January, Feb, obviously very lean periods for any business, but especially in the media industry. So, can you have enough cash in the bank to then get through those periods and not panic to know that you can get through later in the year? So, yeah, it's been a massive, big learning for us, and I'm sure a lot of businesses out there can relate. But and again, not crying about it. It's all a part of it. It's all part of the parcel. It's pressure's a privilege, and I think when you've got a platform and you've got you're doing awesome things, and we're lucky enough to be at a gather round and do what I love every day. Like, there's going to be some things that obviously are very stressful about that too, but can't take the good without having a bit of shit in there as well.
That's what I've found the most challenging with going from doing a podcast, because that's like, we've probably had a similar journey to you in terms of BackChat, Eagle Vision, Squawk Talk. It was Squawk Talk with Cal Morton back in the day. Jeez, that was good.
Was that better than Eagle Vision?
So Eagle Vision was a TV show. Squawk Talk, I reckon we beat almost anyone else to market. No one's listening.
Yeah.
But like, we were doing a podcast on our iPhones. We would go to this dungeon at West Coast, me and Cal Morton.
Yeah.
And we would put an iPhone in the middle and talk. And it was
good on you, mate.
It was
That's awesome.
Squawk Talk.
But you were too early on that, I reckon.
We were too early.
Yeah.
We were too early. Some of the great stories of all time.
Yeah.
But
is it still on the feed?
No, well, maybe.
You should actually do a watch and review of that, listen back and like play the things back.
I know we weren't filming it. It was literally like iPhone 3. Like, it was grim scenes.
That's elite. It'd live off on some PC at West Coast, surely.
Yeah, but like going from being a podcaster, which is, I speak about this, like doing this is easy, to be honest.
Yes.
You got to do the work, but like us talking like this is about 2% of the work. Everything else.
It's the fun part.
Yeah, this is the good part, the fun part. And going from a podcaster to running it, like, to a businessman, but like running a business is a very, very different thing. And the financial management is something that, like, yeah, if you don't go to uni, if you don't, you get your accounting in year 11, which I failed.
Yeah,
that was the last time I saw it. Mr. Payne, shout out, wore ties.
Mr. Wanless, shout out.
Well, like, Mr. Payne was like, and one of my good friends will listen to this. Like, he used to wear ties that would be like halfway down his quad. Like lengthy ties.
Wow.
And it'd be like, what ties Mr. Payne wear? That's as good as my accounting knowledge was.
Yeah.
So to then step into running a business, we've got 6 staff now, multiple locations. So you've got about 7 Xero accounts you're running, and like financial management.
Yeah, I tell you what, Xero is a cool platform though. It's just, as in it. Yeah, just it fucking helps. Imagine before Xero trying to run a business.
Mate. Like running a manual book or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, so that's the same as us, mate. Like financial side, and then running a proper business. Like, dealing with people issues rather than just like what are we gonna chat to Dill about today?
Yeah,
was your biggest issue? It's
big as well. Realistically, I think playing footy holds you in really good stead to do a lot of these things, because you're very used to feedback and working with teammates and having professional relationships, and that's been, there's always challenges to that, but I think it held you in pretty good stead. But I think one other thing around the business stuff that I've found over the last few years has been really beneficial is just outsourcing. As soon as you have the capability, you outsource the things that someone else can do better than you, and you focus on the things that you can do better. So for us, it was around the financials, and the big one, like bringing on Ricky, who's our sort of virtual CFO. He sort of looks over all our books and runs everything, but then having monthly meetings with us and going through and making sure that, so we're not in the weeds on that every day. So it's like, that would take me 3 hours versus it takes him 10 minutes. Okay, bang. Yes, there's a price on that, but what else can I do in that time that's then going to make the revenue back that covers that? So I think it's just like, how well can you spend your time and get yourselves in the areas that you have the most impact, versus wasting your time doing the things that aren't as good.
This is why you sit where you sit on the org chart, mate, because you got good people around you. That's seriously, it's a good thing that you are there.
I have, not that you asked this, but I think my biggest talent is surrounding myself with the best people. Like, I attract some crazy people, like really, really good people. So, it's sometimes that's probably one thing I feel embarrassed about is.
So you're attractive, is that what you're saying? You're
I attract. Yeah, I think that is what I'm trying to say. No, it goes back to Hogwarts, right? Like,
the double door.
I think for me, I have this really shit saying that no one agrees with, but I love it. Is we go to me and my wife when we go to the supermarket. Well, we're very different people. She's the most intelligent person in the world, but one thing that shoots me is she'll walk around the aisles looking for something, and she'll be like, "Oh, I need the flour, but it's not like here." I walk straight up to the person. I say, "Hey, mate, where is the flour, this brand?" And they take me right to it. And I think that's an analogy for something that I do in life and business as well. It's like, don't stuff around with shit that you don't need to stuff around with. And if you want to learn about something, go to the best person you know that already is an absolute weapon at it. So I just won't stuff around like trying to self-educate myself on Google. Like if I have a contact, which again, I'm very lucky to have, and I've been in an area where I can really work with a lot of people, but I do challenge other people listening. Like there's always a way to find something about someone from something that knows more than you about it. So you just got to put yourself out there to ask questions. And again, it comes back to that point too. Like what can then I actually provide the other person in it as well?
That's a really long quote. You start off with like,
comma.
This is a quote.
Comma. Thanks. Done.
My favourite saying at the moment, at least, is...
I think it was an analogy, not a quote. Yeah,
right,
okay, sorry.
Mine is, this too shall pass.
Oh, yeah.
Just like good, like things are going amazingly and you're the king of the world, it's probably not going to last forever.
Oh, yeah.
And you're in the depths of despair and you think that nothing could possibly go worse, it's probably going to get better. Like life lives in the middle somewhere and you're going to have huge ups, huge, like the pinnacles of life. Childbirth, watching your wife give birth to a child is probably number one, not probably, is. Premiership for me, like top of the mountain. But like, flip side, kid's not sleeping and you haven't slept for like 3 days and your wife is just, brutally, emotionally cooked. And you're cooked and you're trying to do it. Like that's the bottom, and getting delisted on the other end or retiring when you don't necessarily want to, like that's rock bottom. But life's somewhere in the middle. So this too shall pass is like, don't get too carried away with where you're at. Like it'll be fine. Like everything's going to be okay. Basically that's what it means. Hey, you can reflect on that, I feel like.
I do. I like that quote. It's good.
We've got a little bit longer. I just wanted to ask you about state of media in general, and I know this is a very broad question, but take it however you like. Like, where's it going? Like, I look at America a lot, and I watch what they do in media, and especially sporting media. So not only formats, but how people consume it. How people are putting out their content. That's happening in Australia, but it's delayed. Like, where do you see the future of media? You spoke about you want to see, the Hodgies and the experts like Dylan Brown, Matt Pavlich, so the best of the best of the best. Do you see quickly a Dylan Buckley type, and your words, like being on that mainstream platform? And how does mainstream shape up to independents like yourself, like ourselves? Like, where's it all going to sit over the short to medium term?
I have a few thoughts on this. I think that, there's obviously, we're very lucky that we're sort of a 10-year delay. It might be shortening a little bit now, but on, what the US and the UK are doing with a lot of their sports content, how that sort of works. And you've even seen it here over the last few years around digital, social media influencers or podcasters or personalities, whatever they are, like getting involved in more mainstream stuff, which has been awesome. I genuinely love that. I think that, it's only going to get bigger and better. And, I say this a bit, but I love when people start new shows. I love what you guys are doing. I love what everyone's doing in this space, because I think there's a really a silly way to look at it where you think, you don't want other people to do it. But it's like, the rising tide raises all ships, and the more people that are in it, the more people are going to be consuming. And, I don't know many people who go on the television and only watch Channel 7 and only watch Home and Away. Like sometimes they flick to 9, sometimes they flick to 10, sometimes they watch ABC. Probably not. No, I'm joking. Well, sometimes they watch, other things as well. So, there's so much space for content that people can love your show. They can love my show. They can love other people's shows. So I think that's one space that's really cool. With the digital stuff, like I love the live streaming element as well. Like we've been doing some stuff on YouTube, Clubby TV. I know you guys are doing some live stuff as well, which has been awesome. I was giving you props off air. I think you guys are honestly probably doing that better than anyone at the moment, especially with your I love the live streams on Instagram as well. Really cool. Really
Shout
cool.
out Jaiden.
Is that Jaiden? Yeah.
Shout out Jaiden.
And I did say to Jaiden, if he ever wants to move to Melbourne,
we've got an office in Melbourne now, so if he moves there,
if you ever want to work for a really good business in Melbourne.
Business.
More than welcome. But like as I said, I love consuming other people's content and just getting inspired off other things and trying to work out how you can put your own spin on stuff as well. But I have this other idea, and I don't know if this actually works anymore, but I somewhat think soon what will happen is there's this thing where people want to own their content. And I think that what will happen soon is on radio, I have a feeling people will, and I've actually already seen this with a few people, but I think what will happen is people won't work for radio stations. They'll license their show to radio stations. So, for example, you might have a BackChat on SEN in Perth, but it's like your show licensed to them and you have a co-agreement with that versus...
And they can sell it.
Yeah, versus like you working for them and not getting skin in the game. Because I think everyone wants to be a part of their thing and actually then it motivates you to grow it more as well. Lucy and Nikki, I don't know if you've seen Lucy and Nikki, they're these two girls that I reckon they have like the funniest podcast in Australia. It's so weird that I listen to it, but it's like this... Yeah, they're pisses, and they have just signed with a radio station in Gold Coast, and they're doing a similar thing now. So I think that podcasting element will definitely transpire across both. But yeah, I only see things getting bigger and better, and just innovating more. Like the live streaming stuff's awesome. I love that. There'll be like, back in the day, it was probably pre-time, like press red for Ed. Do you remember that on Foxtel?
Yeah.
Like I think that it's only. I know you guys work with KO. I love KO. They're awesome partners for us as well, and I'm just banging down the door to get a split screen and get us on there and be able to sort of live stream games and watch us.
Tom and Eddie have done a great job.
Yeah, they have. They've been, honestly, you talk about people that have innovated and pressed the button for other people to go forward. They've paved the way for a lot of people, and yeah, I love what those boys have done.
In the end, like, it's just audience, I think. Like, when you break it down, like, everyone's doing their thing, but like everyone's hunting for audience, whether you do that, own it or not. Like everyone is putting their stuff out to an audience. So I agree with you in the sense that I think there's a world in which everything just lives together. And the audience makes the decision. You're not making your content. We're not making our content. SEN, Triple M, Channel 7. No one's making the decision for the audience. The audience is making the decision. So anyone in media doesn't make any decisions. It's just about the audience.
Exactly, and that's the big. They're spoiled for choice, and
which is good.
It's amazing. Like I love listening to different things. Like the other day, I don't actually have a bloody aerial at home, so I don't have like free to air TV. I only have like YouTube and KO and Netflix and that sort of stuff. So I was up here the other night watching the Agenda Setters on 7 because I normally just watch it via like Twitter and just watch it on that. And I was watching it, I'm like, fuck, this is awesome. Like, it's a great show. Like, I wouldn't watch it every week, but I love it. And then every Monday when I get up, we record Monday mornings myself. So on the way into that, I'm like chucking on Kane and Kingy, like listening to them talk about the weekend that was. And it's fantastic. Is it what I want to listen to all the time? Like, probably not, but I know that that's my weekly thing on Monday. I do that. Then on Tuesday, I'll listen to podcasts. On Wednesday, I do this. So there's so much stuff out there.
Yeah, I think it's great. I want to ask some questions from the audience, I think.
Yeah,
because we're going to press red for Ed soon. I think
press red for... Yeah, he's coming in here, the big fella.
Press red for Ed's in here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to... That's
warm the seat up for the big fella.
Lock it in, Eddie.
Yeah.
So this is a part of the show we like to call social media. This has been...
I get it.
Thank you. This has been living with us since... Squawk Talk days. Like this is deep, this segment. This is where the people get to ask you the questions. You've heard enough from Dan and I.
One of the first social questions that we got when we started BackChat up again, like when I was involved, I think episode 2 or 3 was, when are we doing a Dylan Friends collab?
Yeah.
Well, that was like episode 2 or 3.
Now.
Yeah.
And
so 4 years later.
I directly asked you 1 minute later and here we are. Thanks for replying to my text message.
We were actually meant to do something like a few months ago, and I can't remember what happened, but I got...
You bailed.
What happened?
You bailed.
Yeah, I did bail, but something actually happened. I can't remember what it was. Probably something I shouldn't be talking about anyway, but yeah.
It was something better to do. Bro.
Yeah. Oh, no, I had to take the bins out at home.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
All right, Saxon, you're up first.
I don't know if this is an insult. I'm just going to read it out anyway.
Yeah.
Do you like the nickname Snake Eyes? Is that a thing?
Yeah, it is. So... Snake, like you'd think it's to do with my eyes being on the side of my head, which would be more crab eyes. But the boys at work, we have another show called 200 Plus, and with Nick Butler and Sam Draper and Charlie Comben, and the sort of running gag is I don't really rate the show, which I actually do love the show.
Do you though?
No, I do, but they basically just bag me out every week, and they think that all the things come to me and not them, so they call me Snake Eyes.
Right.
And my Baldy, who is my business partner, they call him Rat Face. So it's sort of like they are sort of biting the mouths that feed them, but it's a great mate. It got to the stage where they had a live show, and they had their whole audience hissing at me, like 500 people were just like. I was like, what is going on? Like,
he just walked into the snake den.
Yeah.
That's great. All right.
The great buy-in from the audience. Jump time McKinnon.
What's your top 3 AFL Guernseys past present clash?
Oh, such a good question. Such a good question.
There's some big clashes coming out together. There's some proper.
Yeah. Look, I'll say I'm not going to say anything too modern. I'll go more because it's too hard at the moment. There's a lot going on.
Yep.
Massive fan of. So I think the most aesthetically really beautiful jumper is the Swans jumper, like just the classic Sydney Swans jumper, the red and white with the swan. I love that jumper. I really, really like the Fremantle Docker jumper, the OG purple, red and white.
The anchor.
Yeah, the anchor. Love that jumper. I can't really do top 3 because I like them all. I really like the West Coast yellow and blue.
Old school
one.
They're bringing something similar this way.
Love that.
It's a bit modernised for mine.
I love them all really, but I love the Adelaide jumper they've just brought out sick. I know I said I wasn't going to go modern, but I am.
Yep.
I love the Port jumper, the old school lightning bolt.
I like the old Adelaide jumper, like 90s stripes.
Yeah, that's cool as well.
I think that's elite.
I was watching a game this morning on TV. It had that on, and I said I wasn't going to go modern, but I really like the Swans one that they've done this week. Have you seen the Gather Round one?
I like that too. People shitting on it, but it's so good.
No, it's all white. It's got a red
line
thing. And the other one, is the pink Gold Coast Suns. That is unbelievable. Like I'm pumped as. And the yellow Carlton Livestrong one has been a good one.
Was it what about the light blue M&M?
Yeah, that was a bit before my time. That was a long time ago, but that was sick too.
We ran a best worst Guernsey comp early days on BackChat. So you got to think, it's like the best worst one. So So like the worst, but it's good.
The Power Rangers one.
Ochre.
Yeah.
What one?
Power Rangers
won it, but it defeated Ochre. Like the West Coast, it's like a spew orange.
Gradient to orange to blue.
I like that. I don't mind that.
Fans have been screaming
back
to bring
then
it
it was shit, but like if they brought it back for a game, it'd be sick.
That's what I mean.
Yep. Sorry, just on this. Why are we not doing Heritage Round anymore and wearing those That is
like the Geelong lace up.
That is the best round in AFL. Like when Essendon wear the red shorts and the red, Richmond wear the yellow. Like there's a Carlton one once as well. It was like navy blue and they had the yellow. Moving on.
Oh, we're rapid fire.
You don't do rapid fire with podcasters, man.
John Dawson.
What's your favourite podcast note involved with sports?
What?
Yeah, look, I'm just reading it as it's written. What's your favourite podcast note involved with sports? Should we move on?
Thanks, John. Life by Noxie.
Favourite guest.
I had a really good answer for that too. I didn't even know what that meant.
Favourite guest you'd be able to work with on a podcast full time?
So potential new co-host for Dylan Buckley is
working on it. Mate, I love the team I've got. Brett and Mick are fantastic. Love working with them every day.
Just in case
you're starting a new show. Who's your co-host that you grab?
Ned McHenry.
Great.
Okay.
Love that.
Adelaide, Ned McHenry. He's the best. So funny.
That is very good. Is he Geelong boy or am I making that up?
No, he is. He's Geelong boy, but he's here over in Adelaide now.
This is from Cam Jones 2020. What is the question you desperately wanted to ask someone but couldn't bring yourself to ask it on the podcast, and who was it?
Oh, wow. I love guest-related questions because Dill's probably interviewed 400 people.
Yeah, I don't think, to be honest, there's never anything that I haven't asked someone. And even we've always sort of got to it. So
no stone left unturned. Great.
No, not that I can think of.
Short for decade. No, I'm not going to read this. Are you still friends with Samwise after he carried you up Mount Doom and got your finger bitten off?
It's a fractured relationship, but it's still that's very good.
Did you like that photo we put up with Schofield?
Yeah, fuck no.
I had nice hair there.
I've had some shocking haircuts. Still to this day, I just
you reckon now is great. Don't
you reckon?
Yeah,
I like it. Don't let
You're
anyone
not
else
doing
touch.
anything. You're just buzzing it. It's great.
Thanks, man.
All right, we'll finish with this one that we always do from Tappy95. How does Dylan like his eggs? Sincerely, the Eggman.
Love eggs. Really, really into eggs. So I actually went off them for probably 10 years because I was hungover one day and I had a poached egg and it was really too runny and I was like, it was just fucked. And it was disgusting. And anyway, I'm back on eggs now and I actually like them poached, but hard poached, but almost like not when you break it out, it's like hard, but then there's a little bit of just, I think it's called jammy. It's called jammy.
Yeah,
Is that
well done?
So it's well done, but it's
not runny.
But it's still gooey.
But it's not.
It's not going to run out. So that's one way, and then also
How are you doing
fried.
that? Are you making these? Or?
Yeah, I poach. I don't poach. I'm sorry. I boil an egg and then crack it off, and
Like dippy. That's like dippy eggs.
yeah, it's good.
Oh yeah, you're talking about dippy eggs.
Like a
yeah.
boiled egg.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mate, it's been an experience.
I was just getting started, boy.
Yeah, I know. Like,
Yeah,
that's
we're
what I
going
was
to have a
worried
big
about.
chat now.
That was what I was worried about. We could probably just do this all day. Mate, I think if we finish off on saying you've been really inspirational for us watching what you guys are doing. I mean, don't get too carried away. I'm not going to give you too much for love.
Yeah.
But I just think what you guys have building the future, we align with a lot of your thoughts there that you've shared. And it's been brilliant to watch. Well done. Thank you for your time today. I know you're a busy man.
Thank you, mate. And I'll throw it back at you guys as well. Absolutely love what you're doing. I think, there's no, there's so much inspiration from what you guys are doing, and especially with Big Jaiden. I think he deserves a pay rise. To be honest,
For a pay rise from Paywise.
Yeah.
That's our new slogan this year.
Yeah, he does. He definitely deserves one. But no, look, you guys are working with good people and attracting obviously great young talent as well. Love sort of seeing how you've built out your network with the 4-wheel drive stuff and Hammer and all that stuff as well. And the better you guys go, the better we'll go too. So really blessed to have some good people around, and it's been long overdue and won't be the last time. And I'll try and get some quotes actually written out next time.
No, that's good.
We'll come to your studios next time.
Well, you'll be coming over soon.
Yep. Yeah, for the Carlton draft.
Yeah, it's funny because you think you're getting picked up to a West Coast team. I highly doubt that.
Whoever's
got the last pick, we'll see.
Don't worry. I know. Matt Pavlich, one of the greats to ever play the game.
No, you know what though? If you're actually
Travis Clark,
if you're decently smart, I reckon you've got some run in the legs though. You look pretty fit.
Yeah, I'm fit.
You want someone that can actually Pav and those guys.
I toyed with making a
washed?
comeback in the waffle just for a gag again this year. I've already made one comeback. I came back through the waffle 2 years ago when West Coast didn't have any players. Did you see this?
Yeah, I did see that. That was actually amazing.
I've done it once. I can do it again. Hey, I'm 37.
No, actually,
I'll tell you how old Pavlich is. Pavlich is over 40 and he's got grey hair. So pick Pavlich if you like. I don't care.
And was he even any good?
Yes. Best ever. Dill, you're maybe not going to like this, but I'm going to look after our sponsors to finish us off. Paywise.
Come on, you Paywise.
Powering the podcast. ID Athletic.
On your ID Athletic.
Whippersnapper Whisky.
Whisky.
Mamba Digital.
Love ya.
TABtouch.
Yes.
Shelter Brewing Co.
Shelter. Matt from Shelter. I was with him last week.
My man.
Yeah.
Leadable Precinct. Our live venue partners.
What was it? Leaderville
Precinct.
Love them
the
as well.
Leaderville Hotel.
Yeah, Leader Hotel.
Leaderville.
Yeah, I was there.
On One Services.
Fuck, how many fucking sponsors you guys have?
What are On One Services?
On One, is that a career?
No, it's Jeremy McGovern's plumbing electrical business, actually.
That's what I meant.
Yep. Very good. That's us, I think.
Yep, done.
Good on you.